How y'all doing today? My name's Ayin, and today's topic of discussion is going to be extend passes to those you deem important. That's not the topic of this video. Extend passes to others as you do with those you deem important. Extend passes to others as you do with those you deem important. What that means is the same way that you view a person that's important in your life and you give them a pass on them doing something that maybe you might not have been particularly fond of, and you're like, oh, because of who that person is, I'm going to give them a pass on that. What's the difference in not giving a pass on a person that you don't think as highly of? The point that I'm making is in this video, and I've done other videos in regards to this, we all have ups and downs. We all have bad days. What makes me think that this person has the right for me to click on them more than this person? The reason why I say this is because I know that I'm imperfect. I know that I have bad days, and I may not always put forth the energy that I want to put forth, or the attitude, because I'm just not feeling it. No matter, how good your intentions may be, but you're human. Nobody's on all the time. Nobody's up all the time. You have some down days. By down days, I'm not just saying, you're just sitting in, the world is just all doom and gloom. I'm just saying nobody's at their full 100%. There's some days where, you just rubbed a little rawer than normal. I would like a pass given to me, especially knowing that I'm pretty jovial and upbeat 85, 90% of the time. I would like a pass and excusing if I'm a little out of pocket. I'm not talking about a lot being out of pocket. What I'm just saying is you're just not feeling it. I'm not talking about you just going off on somebody. I'm just saying if maybe my pleasantries aren't as pleasant, I would appreciate a pass. Matter of fact, it's not that I appreciate a pass. I know that passes have been given. It could have been many instances where a person could have checked me on the way that I behaved or the way that I reacted. But they didn't. So I would like to extend those same passes to others. Let me explain a little bit. And I've used this example in another video, but I'm going to use it again here. I remember one time, and opposed to retelling this whole story, I'm just going to basically skip to the chase. Well, no, I'll give you a little bit of detail so you can really see why I was in the headspace that I was at. Got up, was going to a job. First of all, it was a job I didn't like. I'm in a house paying a mortgage that didn't really want to pay because of other things going on in my life. I'm a pretty new father at the time. I'm paying daycare that was just through the roof. The daycare was practically the amount of my truck payment. I had a babysitter, even though she was only to watch the child Monday through Friday. She acted like it was a new week every week, like as if the schedule changed, like as if it was just changing from week to week, and it didn't. So what I mean by that is, you may go to drop the baby off, she might not be there. Even though you're dropping her off this 8 to 5 every day, or whatever the hours were at the time, because we're talking about years ago, she may be grocery shopping. She may be at a friend's house. Now keep in mind, I have to go to work. I'm leaving out of the subdivision one day, and it was a car blocking me getting out of the subdivision. So I'm knowing how I'm feeling. I'm waiting because I'm like, hey, look, maybe they'll look up in the rearview mirror, notice I'm behind them, and they'll move on out the way. They looked up in the rearview mirror. They noticed me. They didn't move. So I lightly tapped on the horn. Instead of them going ahead and pulling out the way, They put their hand out the window. Come on, go on around. I get out the car and acted ridiculous. Got back in the car, on my way to work, fuming from the way that I was acting, which that's not something that you ever do. I never encourage any sort of retaliation or anything leading to road rage. And like I said, it was just a moment that I was out of pocket. It was many years ago, and even after thinking about it, you're just like, man, they really could have went left. But nothing came of the situation. It was nothing physical or anything. Got to work, coming in, and since we were the first shift coming in, like I said, it was a job I didn't like. I remember opening the door, and I'm still trying to be in a good headspace. I'm opening the door, excuse me. I'm opening the door to let employees in, and the first guy that was getting ready to come in, from all of us waiting for them to open the doors, the first guy that was getting ready to come in, he's waiting like he's waiting for me to go in. I clearly have the door open, and I'm waiting for him to come through the door. And he's waiting like, oh, what, you're going to go? So what I do next is embarrassing to even say, but, I'm well past it. It's a learning experience. If it wasn't a learning experience for me, it's a learning experience for you all, but it was a learning experience for me. I wait for him to go on through the door. And come on. Normally, I would have never done that. It would have been no reason to do that. But I had so much built up from that day that man, come on. Like, don't try to out-nice me on this one, man. You see me opening the door, get on through the door. So he comes on through the door, and I go in and I think about it. I'm like, man, I don't even know why I did that. But it was just a reaction that I had at that moment. I said this in another video. From here on out, when I saw that dude, he never said anything to me. You could tell it was some clear resentment between the way that I handled that situation. His attitude was just like, nah, forget you. Man, the way that you were on it. And from what I saw, the way that guy was around there, and I think the same thing about myself as well, he seemed like a pretty pleasant gentleman. But it was a relationship that was severed because of what went on that day. The point being is, everybody has bad days. You're not the only one going through something. You're not the biggest person in the room. I've done a video on that. You're not the biggest person in the room. So even though everything that I told you, that big old pity story with the mortgage and, this with the babysitter and and the traffic incident, all of this leading up to this terrible morning of coming and me having this little incident with this gentleman that resulted in a severed or a lost connection. Yeah, like I said, he never spoke to me again. And at the time, with me being more youthful than I was now, I guess I guess it wouldn't have been anything wrong. It wouldn't have been anything wrong with me approaching them and just, making that right. But I didn't. I was just like, it's whatever. Extend those passes just like you would to somebody you deem important. If you're thinking in your head, well, this person, they deserve preferential treatment because of XYZ. We all deserve preferential treatment. When you're not dealing with somebody, do you not want the best of what you're getting from that person? Or do you just want like 30%? When you go to work, do you just want like 15% of your supervisor, your manager? Whether you're a manager and you got employees, you want 10% from them? Attitude, what they're giving you? Or do you want the whole 100%? And that's the point that I'm making. When we're talking about connections with people, we want the best that they have to offer. Same thing applies from us. You don't think that they expect the same thing from us? That's what I'm talking about with this video. What I mean by giving a pass, man, let it ride. Ask yourself, is it even worth it? Is it even worth it to get an altercation up behind this one? If this would have happened with this person, I would have let it ride. If another person in my circle would have done this same thing, I would have let it ride. But because it's this person, I don't know. No, I can't. No, that's pride. And it's one thing that I remember my mother had told me years ago, and it was something that I really tried to live by. It's pride before the downfall. Think about it. In the meantime, while you're thinking about it, check out a book I've written. I Am Kilimanjaro's The Arithmetic to Family Communication. I'll leave a link in the description box. You can get it on Amazon, paperback, ebook copy. Okay? Hit that subscribe button while you're here. Follow me on other social media. Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. In the meantime, stay encouraged. Avoid being discouraged. I'm Aim. You have a good one.